Good morning, everyone. How are y'all doing? Happy Thursday. We are doing our usual Thursday legal wrap up, and we have a jam packed show for you guys today. Accidentally had the YouTube up, so I'm echoing. Sorry about that, y'all. Um, so how is everyone doing? We got at the beach already here. Joy, good morning, Joy. And we had a couple early birds. Well, on time. I was a little. I had to schedule it for 8:15, so I do appreciate y'all showing up at 8. Hey, Wrathful. Good morning. Okay, so like I said, a DFJ. Good morning. Um, we actually have some of your stuff that I'm gonna put up. So, um, yeah, with the Perez stuff. She had a really, really cool video that we're going to watch. But yeah, so let's get started on what today's show is on. It's Legal Tea Wrap Up. You see the thumbnail, nothing cheeky today. I couldn't do a pun. Good morning, Void. Oh, sorry to hear that, Wrathful. She said she just got home from the hospital with her husband. Well, we'll be praying for you. Hopefully everything goes good with that. Appreciate you showing up after a long day or long night with him. Hopefully everything's okay. So the legal tea wrap up, we got Spencer over there on the left. We're going to get into all the stuff with Gavin Newsom and the Palisades fire. Obviously Blake and all her stuff with Perez Hilton, as well as what's going on in the docket. There's some stuff with Jed Wallace, her deposition, lots of tea there. And then obviously Kevin Costner, Dana. If you guys don't follow, if you're not a dozer, if you guys don't follow, I say Donna. If you guys don't follow Donna Bowling at Daily Dose of Donna, she spilled the Kevin Costner tea, Piping Hot, just as Daily Mail had dropped the article. So y'all go over there and watch that video because it's really good. I love how she just spilled the whole tea. But we're going to do a recap on that. I link the docket in the description so you get the full docket if you want to read it. It's got all of the pictures in there, not just what was included in Daily Mail and Variety. They kind of cherry pick some pictures there. So you'll get that full. We'll go over that docket and what else is going on with Kevin. And then Taylor Swift is who we're going to lead with. You guys heard about the lawsuit that we were talking about, the copyright lawsuit with the lyrics. This one she's not directly involved in, but it is the price gouging scheme that that was going on with the Eras tour that a lot of fans were upset with. So there's finally consequences to that. The FTC has done a filing on Monday morning. So we're going to go ahead and lead with that. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. And yeah, we're having a great show. So let's go ahead and get into it with the Taylor Swift stuff. So let me pull that up. I always have trouble pulling up that first one. Okay, I'll just pull this one up and then I'll switch it. So that's not the right one, but okay, here we go. All right, so the FTC sues ticket resale company alleging Eras Tour price gouging scheme. Oh, and I do have my banner already. I had it up early. So let me just make me small so y'all can see this big. And let's go ahead and get into it. The agency sued Maryland-based Key Investment Group, alleging that the company violated the Bots Act to obtain thousands of Eras Tour tickets and resell them for millions of dollars. The Federal Trade Commission filed a lawsuit against the resale company on Monday, alleging that the company broke federal law to obtain hundreds of thousands of tickets to Taylor Swift's Eras Tour and other major concerts, and then scalp them for millions of dollars in profit. In the lawsuit filed in the FTC filed in federal court on Monday and reviewed by the Hollywood Reporter, the FTC alleges that Key Investment Group violated the Better Online Ticket Sales Act, better known as the Bots Act, to work around Ticketmaster's ticket purchase limits and obtain nearly 380,000 concert tickets between November of 2022 and December of 2023. The company spent about $57 million for the tickets and resold them for about $64 million. And I do have the filing linked in the description already. You don't have to wait for me to link it. If you guys want to go check it out and read it yourselves, I'll show it here in a minute. The FTC alleged that to secure so many tickets, the company used thousands of fictitious Ticketmaster accounts, thousands of virtual and traditional credit card numbers, proxy or spoofed IP addresses, and SIM banks to bypass or otherwise avoid these security measures. Per the lawsuit, between March and August of 2023, Key Investment Group bought about 2,280 tickets of Swift's 38 Eras Tour show dates, exceeding the show's 6-ticket per customer limit, buying them for about $744,970 with 29 cents. And all those were resold for 1.9 mil, it looks like. Some change. At just one of Swift's Allegiant Stadium shows in Las Vegas, the company used 49 different accounts to secure 273 tickets, reselling them for $119,227.21 in net profit. So they're down to like the cents. Meanwhile, for 2023 Bruce Springsteen show at MetLife Stadium, they also used 277 different accounts to secure over 1,500 tickets, marking them up for a combined $21,000 in revenue. The FTC lawsuit comes months after President Donald Trump signed an executive order back in March calling for increase of the BOTS Acts. Until now, the BOTS Act had only been enforced one time since it was passed into law back in 2016. President Trump has made it clear in his March executive order that unscrupulous middlemen who harm fans and jack up prices through anti-competitive methods will hear from us. FTC's chairman Andrew N. Ferguson said in a statement, "Today's action puts brokers on notice that the Trump-Vance FTC will police operations that unlawfully circumvent ticket sellers' purchasing limits, ensuring that consumers have an opportunity to buy tickets at fair prices." In an unprecedented move, the FTC has twisted the intent of the BOTS Act, a law designed to target malicious software, into a weapon against legitimate businesses and consumers, is what the KIG statement said. So they're weaponizing this against us. Under the FTC's interpretation, anyone who purchases more than 4 tickets or uses more than one account could be deemed in violation of federal law. That outcome is not only illogical, it's absurd. Even more troubling, the FTC misleadingly characterizes Key Investment Group's use of standard internet browsers to purchase tickets as equivalent to deploying unlawful software. This portrayal is both deceptive and malicious. We're prepared to vigorously defend itself against the clear example of regulatory overreach. So they filed a lawsuit of its own against FTC back in July over this case's investigation, arguing that KIG has fully complied with the BOTS Act. So this is just the latest intervention in the live music business. Last month, the DOJ indicted Oakview Group CEO Tim Wyke on bid rigging allegations over the development of the Moody Center in Austin, Texas. Back in May, as part of Trump's executive order, the DOJ and FTC launched a public inquiry into the live music business. And then we have this quote from Stephen Parker of the National Independent Venues Association, who said, fans and independent stages have been waiting years for real enforcement. We hope this marks the beginning of a new era of rigorous oversight. We applaud today's actions and urge the FTC to keep going and ramp up its work to protect fans, artists, and stages from illegal bots and other methods intended to circumvent the law. Well, I think it's rich of Key Investment Group to say, they're not guilty, but this was a big deal. A lot of fans were upset about, how the tickets went so fast, and then the reseller price was really, really high. So here's the lawsuit. It just dropped on Monday, the 18th, you see here, and it's linked in the description. So it's only about 18 pages, a pretty easy read. And you can see, they go into all the details and stuff. Here's, they got little charts and stuff like that. So if you guys want to go and get there's even attachments. They got emails and stuff. What is this? Thank you for reaching out regarding the ticket limit. I understand your concern, but please note that the ticket limit is applied per account to ensure fair access to tickets for fans. Which, yeah. And if it's just like one person that uses 2 accounts, like say that that you want to take your 8 girlfriends and the limit is 6. And so you use 2 accounts. You use like yours and your husband's or something. Like the FTC is not going to go after that. They're going after these people who are buying, a bunch of tickets, and then it's not fair to the fans who want it because the moment you go on, I know I experienced that with Dominic Fike tickets. I went on literally 1 minute after they announced it, and I had like VIP through like a VIP link, and even then they were like all gone. I tried the next day when it was like general sale and it didn't work, and I had to pay double the price for a reseller to get tickets to Dominic Fike. So I've experienced it, and I feel like yes, exactly, Jane. How can they defend screwing a consumer? Exactly. Yeah, they're pricing most out of going. Exactly. Good morning, ACC. You're on your way to work. I'm glad that you're listening to us this morning. And then I saw one that said that they love my accent. Where did that one go? Void Fighter was like, I love your accent. Thank you, Void. I can't find it, but I appreciate you. Let's see. Joe said, I went to a show at the Moody Center in Austin a couple months ago. We got tickets easily. I was surprised, but another show somewhere else, tickets were immediately sold out. Yeah. So it's a problem with consumers. It has been, and otherwise the Bots Act wouldn't exist. The reason why they put that into play is because, the fans were getting, they were getting the raw end of the deal. So, let's go ahead and get into the spend. That was the Taylor Swift of it all. I mean, she's not directly involved, but it was her tour. So, she she got the raw end of that deal too because her fans were blaming her. Like, she got involved in it because the fans were so upset with it. But here's Spencer Pratt, the Spencer Pratt of it all. I hope this plays. Let me
110 engines specifically were sent down, 45 by CAL FIRE, 65 through our mutual aid system, through the Office of Emergency Services, water tenders down here, 7 new helicopters we brought from Northern California down to Southern California. We just brought our C-130 down from Northern California. It already just had its first drop. 110 engines specifically were sent down, 45 by CAL FIRE, 65 through our mutual aid system.
But basically, he's saying that he's saying that that the governor is gaslighting. Here we go. Let me put it as post. Nothing spreads faster than a California wildfire, except New Scam, which is his new nickname for Newsom. New Scam gaslighting about it. So Spencer Pratt, definitely not a brat. He's back in the chat. We're going to do an update. We did a show. If you guys want, for those who haven't been following this, there is a video in one of my lives that I did on Spencer. It's called We Didn't Start the Fire. And it gives you all the rundown. In the description, it has the docket link so you guys can see his lawsuit against the city. He's been fighting with Governor Newsom. And in a nutshell, it is basically a fight about the fact that there was a fire at one of the state parks that didn't get fully put out. And also, the reservoir that had water was completely empty. People had tried to, make noise about it, and they were just like, it's too expensive to fix or whatever, and never did anything. And so because of that, because that fire wasn't put out, it spread obviously into the, the Palisades, all the homes and everything. And this is all allegedly, obviously, but and then the reservoirs were empty, so the helicopters couldn't, get the water out of there, and there was no water. It was a mess. So no one was really speaking up. Spencer took it upon himself to start speaking up. He filed this lawsuit against the city, and he also uncovered that there was missing money in fire aid. So fire aid was a concert that was put together to get money to the victims of the fires. Well, it turns out that a lot of those victims never got any money. what happened was the money went to nonprofits, and those nonprofits were supposed to give the money to these victims, but they didn't. And some of these nonprofits that got the money were not even in the Palisades. They were like in like Moreno Valley and stuff like that. Like, and so we did that show. It's the We Didn't Start the Fire show. You guys can catch up on Fire Aid, but this is the latest. He posted this a couple nights ago, yesterday night, I think at like 1 a.m. Not yesterday and the day before. So Wednesday going into Tuesday night going into Wednesday morning. So it's Wednesday at like 1 a.m. He posts this and he says, "Whoa, Fire Aid is just the tip of the iceberg. Where is the other 700 million raised for the victims?" So I'm gonna play this, and he goes in and says that he's about to call the FBI because there's more missing money.
We figure out now, and with a rough estimate, that $800 million has been raised 17 weeks. We're only, let's level set here. We're only 17 weeks, not even
we can apply for that $800 million
from, and lifted up a concert that raised $100 million in 24 hours. And it's still streaming, everybody, on Netflix. So please tune in and give us more money for the city. Pushed out $50 million across people that needed food.
So you see his face when he's like, money for the city? What? It's money for the people, right? Like it's money for the victims, right?
People that needed housing. Folks, people are still suffering in need of basic needs in our community.
Whoa. We know you guys jacked 100 million Fire Aid, but there's 800 million, and that was 3 months ago. So I got to call FBI tomorrow and let them know there's also a missing $700 million for fire victims. I thought she said raised it for the city. I'm so confused. What is going on here? Don't worry. I think the FBI gets up early. I'm going to call them first thing and find out where the other $700 million is, because we already know where the 100 million from Fire Aid, that didn't go to any victims.
So I thought like the tea, I'm like, oh my gosh, he's like casually, like, I'm just going to call the FBI in the morning and tell him there's 700 million more missing. So I thought, that was compelling. That's what made me want to, sorry about that, y'all. Let me switch tabs. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here's the next tab. So yeah, so that's the tea on the Fire Aid aspect of it. But this is his fight against Newsom. Let me start it.
So since Gavin Newsom hasn't given us our Palisades investigation, Karen Bass.
Hold on, let me refresh it. Here we go.
Hasn't given us our Palisades investigation. Karen Bass just yesterday said she's delaying hers. The victims they're not okay with that. So we got Senator Rick Scott flew in from Florida.
How you doing?
And I let them know the victims out in the Palisades are demanding a congressional investigation. And Senator Rick Scott said,
I'm going to do my best to make sure it happens.
So stay tuned. I'll obviously keep you posted. We are going to get to the bottom of how our town burned down and how 12 senior citizens were killed. So stay tuned. So
Rick Scott has entered the chat, y'all. He posted to his ex, spent the morning with @Spencer Pratt in the Pacific Palisades. He gave me a tour of the destruction from the fires. More must be done to help the victims. I'm going to fight to get that done. Stay tuned. Congressional investigation is coming soon. He said, thank you for coming to the Pacific Palisades today, Senator Rick Scott. So, Spencer is not just, doing this for clicks or anything. Like, he's serious. I've been following it since the very beginning, right as he was posting that the fire was going towards his house. Like, I followed it since the very beginning when him and Heidi had to flee, all of it. And, he was doing work behind the scenes that he couldn't really talk about for the first couple of months during it. But for anyone saying like this is just, him trying to get into the forefront and all that stuff, it's absolutely not that. He's fighting not only for himself and his families, his own family, his parents, but also he really cares about these victims, and he's done boots on the ground work. Like when I say that he was helping raise money for the Palisades, he was trying to raise money for themselves to just live and still going out there to do different events to raise money for the victims. So, he's the real deal, Spencer Pratt. Like, I can't say enough good things about him. I'm going to share his X at Spencer Pratt. If you guys don't give him a follow on X, go ahead and, do that to stay updated on this case. I'm going to be, updating y'all as well as things come to light. But he's also asking for support for Heidi. His latest post about 6 hours ago. It's $1.29 on iTunes. Go buy Icon, one of her songs. He's been, supporting Heidi as they try to rebuild. A lot of the rebuilding is coming from her music career. They also have a podcast called The Fame Game, I believe. So go support that. I'm definitely supporting him because he's doing, the Lord's work here. He's holding their feet to the fire and asking for explanations. So, here's his feed. He's updating us on all that stuff. Karen Bass, Gavin Newsom. So yeah, y'all for sure go check him out. And that's the latest update. It's like now we got Congress, we got the FBI, we have the lawsuit against the city. So it's a lot. Yes, and also that's going to be another one. I haven't really gotten into that code. We got into a little bit on that we didn't start the fire video that I have below under the live section. We kind of did, but we didn't really get into it. But yes, there is a bill trying to be passed where they are trying to build high-rise buildings, and they're talking about the smart city and all this stuff. The thing about building in the Palisades is that it was already really, really tough to get out of the Palisades when the fires were coming because of so many people, right? And so if you start building high rises, it creates density within the city, and if something like that happens, everyone's trapped. So not a good idea. If you are in California, check into that bill. I'll do another episode once more updates come on the bill to see how you can help with that. But I'm pretty sure they're currently looking over it in Congress, I believe. So I got to do more digging into that. But thank you, Jane, for pointing that out. We also have, Jane said, the poor people in the Palisades. Yes, exactly. And you also mentioned that Spencer keeps saying he isn't suicidal because of the death threats. And yeah, it's really powerful people that are coming after him. We know that Gavin Newsom, might be running for president soon. So that could be, something that we're trying to hold him accountable. Like, if you can't even take care of California, how are you going to be able to take care of, or the Palisades, even not even just California, the Palisades? How is it that that you're going to be president of the United States? I know that there's also chatter that people want Spencer to run for governor of California. There's been T-shirts made and stuff like that. I don't think he's going to go for a bid for governor, but I thought it was pretty funny. The shirts and stuff. Laura says, "I love Spencer." Yeah, like, what's not to love? He could be doing anything with his time, but he's using this fight, and he's not just making videos for clicks or anything. He's boots on the ground. He was in Washington D.C. Y'all go check out that video. It shows all the stuff that he did, all the work. He met with tons of people in D.C. and yeah, he was. Sorry, I'm reading over here the comments. Sometimes I get distracted with the comments. Yeah, Elizabeth says, I appreciate the work that goes into my content. I thought into his content. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. I appreciate you. I thought you were talking about the work that Spencer was doing with his content. But my content, I appreciate that. I do. I put in a lot of work, and we have a jam-packed show. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the next case. Oh, thank you for linking the podcast, Laura. That's perfect. So yeah, if you guys want to go support the podcast, go support Heidi, go support Spence. I'll appreciate that. And you know what? I will add those links as well in the description. I thought I was like, oh, I'm ahead of the game. I added everything, but we'll add that in the description as well. So let's go ahead and get into our next case, which is the Blake Lively stuff. Let's go ahead and update y'all on what's going on. So here is some tea. I don't know if DFJ is still around, but some piping hot tea from DFJ. So a couple of weeks ago on the 15th, She posted this. This lively Wayfair lawsuit appears to have broken court listener. So y'all see this image. Something didn't work. It usually happens when the server is overloaded. So, she has the docket avalanche song and stuff. Y'all go check that out. I know I played it, and I think it's linked in the last video, but she was like, so much stuff was filed in the docket that it broke. But then get this. This is like some hot tea. Free Law Project, who runs Court Listener, said, alas, this was a distributed denial of service act. This is called DDoS attack. So this is just the long form of it. Not related to this case. We fended it off, but took a few wounds. But I'm like, not related to this case. Who would DDoS them on the night that the docket dropped? That we had that big, large docket drop. So I just thought that was like some little side quest tea that I thought was funny because she didn't tag them or anything into Court Listener. That's the weird part. Look, it just says, she used the name Court Listener unless they typed in Court Listener. But like the fact that they found this and then replied, I don't know. That was just a little side quest. What do y'all think about that? That's pretty weird, right? There was a DDoS attack on that. Mama says, absolutely love DFJ. Yes. So we're going to get into her content here. She's updating us on the Perez Hilton saga. I love her content because of all the side quests. She does Jed Wallace and Stephanie Jones. She just started a new channel. If you guys can go over there to support her, she's trying to get enough followers to start going live and, putting out content. But she has great videos on Stephanie Jones and Van Zandt, which, a lot of people just focus on the Blake Lively-Baldoni fight. But there's side quests, Jed Wallace as well, and now Perez and Subpoena-gate. She had a lot of cool images during Subpoena-gate, keeping us updated on everyone who had been subpoenaed and all that. So this is who I follow for Subpoena-gate updates, Jed Wallace and Stephanie Jones and Jen Abel content. So she says, Perez Subpoena-gate update. Judge sets motion hearing for 8/28/2025 at 12:15 p.m. Pacific time in Las Vegas courtroom 7C, and it's before Judge Richard F. Boulware. At the Perez Hilton worked through the night to file his response to Lively's opposition to his MTQ in Nevada in hopes the judge would make a swift ruling before Lyman could hijack the issue. He did a fantastic job. Now Nevada judge sets a motion hearing for next Thursday. Perez breathes his violence. See comments for full video. So you guys go check out Perez Hilton's YouTube with the full video, but we're going to watch this little snippet. She basically took all the best parts and made this little video.
The issue of jurisdiction all dropped late yesterday, and I responded this morning, hoping and praying here in Nevada rules before slimy Lyman in New York. Appropriate remedy is to quash it in its entirety. His rulings in New York raise questions of impartiality. Even the perception of bias is harmful to public confidence in the courts. I am prepared to sit for a deposition, submit a sworn affidavit, or testify at trial. I would love to testify at trial, and I will wear my florals, or to decide the matter before any other court attempts to do so. Really have to hammer that point home. Home is Nevada. Respectfully submitted, Mario Lavandera, also known as P to the E to the R to the E to the Z, H to the I to the L to the T to the O to the N. Boom, boom, boom.
I love that last part. Boom, boom, boom. So, the Perez Hilton wrote a response. He does a live reading of that response. Like I said, go check out the YouTube. That was just like the best little snippets of the live reading. I also have the actual docs linked in the description, but I'm telling you right now, his live reading it's a masterclass. If y'all don't know, Perez was NYU trained as an actor before he became, the celebrity blogger that he is. Influencer. What does he say? The original influencer. He did acting, and you could so tell in this live reading. Someone, I think it was DFJ, that said that he should do live readings of Subpoena-gate or court docs, and have his own little like musical. And in the filing, there's one that really stood out. He says, in this instant, a real life story of David versus Goliath, with Goliath being Miss Lively and her A-list husband. This touches upon themes of power, corruption, and alleged abuse by the plaintiff against Mr. Baldoni and the Wayfarer parties, all of great interest to the followers of my reporting and the greater public at large. But yeah, so he starts off with a bang. Go check out his video. And then if you want to do a deeper dive with the with the actual reading through the filings, they're linked down below. So that's the Perez of it all. DFJ also updated us on the judge's orders. They ordered Wayfarer to file a 2-page letter brief due in 2 days addressing the extent to which discovery through the present related to an ongoing smear campaign is not appropriate, or why it's not appropriate. Judge says this is for specific requests identified in docket number 6481. And then she linked that docket below. So it's for these. She also says, why are they still asking for discovery related to Mr. Reynolds? And that's the big question. Fritz pointed that out in a footnote in another document. So that's the latest on the Baldoni Lively. They're asking the judge is asking Wayfarer to file a 2-page letter brief to say why they shouldn't provide discovery through the present. Remember, they are compromising because technically she shouldn't need discovery if the smear campaign happened prior and she filed in December, her court docs, right? It should end there, right? Like the smear campaign was before. She was claiming in August, right? August to December. So they're compromising and saying, well, we'll give them docs up through February when she filed her second amended complaint, but we're not going to give her documents. Like, it's unduly burdensome. We're not going to do that. Like, she has no proof that it's still ongoing or anything like that. She hasn't provided that proof. So now they're asking to further give them more, or the judges give me more details on why we shouldn't. So that's going to be interesting. And then we have one of my other favorite accounts. This is a Britney Spears account, Justice for BJS. I believe she was Britney Jean Spears account. Justice for Britney. So she's now covering Baldoni versus Lively, and I love her content as well. So give her a follow at Justice for BJS. She's over here with the eyeball emojis, is unsealing, she says. It looks like Jed Wallace filed a letter saying that there was mutual agreement that the redaction of the deposition testimony in one of the filings that was put in, that they're agreeing to unredact that. So we may be seeing more of Blake Lively's deposition. So that's why the eyeball's like, ooh, we're here, we're looking, we're sat. So that's another thing to look forward to on that. And so let's go ahead and take a tiny little breather here before we get into the last of these cases and check out the comments. Lyman has not made a decision yet. And DFJ says, yes, they shouldn't provide discovery through the present because that is insane. Her lawsuit was filed in December. Exactly. Just Snooping says, I need to get myself on X. Seems like that's where a lot of the updates are. Yes. X, I feel like has, Reddit has a lot, but X also has a lot of updates. And then I try to update you guys here on the channel, just Snooping. So for sure, I'll try and keep you guys updated. But yes, X is where we have a lot of accounts that, are doing it daily, like literally by the hour, like checking the docket and everything. And then breaking down the docket documents and stuff. So, yeah, YouTube, it takes a little longer because we got to make the content for it. Oh, feeding the animals. DFJ says she's always feeding the animals while listening. Raffle says Perez, the musical, is even better. Yep. You've seen comments on Perez warning him not to disrespect Judge Lyman to the Nevada judge. He has not disrespected Judge Lyman to the Nevada judge. He did put something in there saying that there was perception of bias by the public, which is true. He was just making it known that there's perception of bias of Judge Lyman, and that if he were to move it to the New York courts, it would, give a perception of unfairness as well from the Nevada judge. DFJ, let me see if I can find that clip. Oh yeah, the Gossip Girl clips. If you guys go to my account real quick, Andrea says the Gossip Girl clips recognizing Perez as a journalist. Yeah, was that you, Andrea, that found him? I linked them. I have them on my X. If y'all go over to my X, yeah, there was Perez was mentioned twice on Gossip Girl as a journalist. So that I thought that was a pretty funny find. But let me see if I can find the DFJ post where she I believe it's the rest of this one. Hold on. Where she talks about the case. It's another case. She basically talks about this case that in Nevada, they're like really, really pro journalists. And there was just a case that that happened. Yeah, I'm trying to look for it. There was just a case that happened, and she's like, it's so crazy that they would subpoena Perez in Nevada after this case that just happened because all the journalists, came out in full swing. There's that Nevada shield law too with journalists. But she cited a specific case. If I can find it, let me see if I can find it here. But yeah, basically saying that she finds it really, really weird that I can't find it right now, but I'll link it on my X today. So if you guys go over there, right here we go. She's explaining it here. I might make a post on this, but after Nevada reporter Jeff German was murdered recently, and the Nevada journalist showed up to support that he got justice and the Nevada shield law. Yes. So it's this reporter that was murdered. And yeah, she'll have it on her X. But yeah, I found that compelling. I didn't know about the Jeff German case that everybody rallied around him, and the importance of journalism and the integrity of protecting sources and all that stuff. So yeah, so let's continue on with the show as we head into the last of it, which is Kevin Costner. All right, so Donna Bowling, like I said, broke this hot off the press. I was over on her channel. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sad for this tea because like, what is going on with Kevin Costner? He fired back at patently false allegations over the Horizon 2 rape scene, an absolute nightmare. So Kevin Costner has fired back at a lawsuit from a Horizon 2 stunt performer who claims that she was forced to perform an unscripted rape scene in violation of union protocols. Let me pull it up here. Sorry about that, y'all. So here's it's Variety's article. In the motion to throw out the lawsuit filed Tuesday, Costner said the allegations are patently false and deeply disappointed and were designed to damage his reputation. I can only assume that purpose was to use this sensationalistic language to embarrass and damage me and the Horizon movies on an ongoing basis in order to gain a massive and unjustified payday, Costner said. Equally as bad, having to read about and address allegations I know to be false involving the words RA and assault has been an absolute nightmare. And we have a follower, Carm, who is Team Costner all the way. I don't know if she's here, but I found this kind of compelling. The pictures, we'll see what y'all's opinions are. We're going to look at all the pictures. Devyn Labelle sued Costner in May for SH and for creating a hostile work environment. She alleged that Costner improvised a scene in which an actor straddled her and raked up her skirt in an aggressive manner. The intimacy coordinator on the film later documented lapses in protocols during the scene, including a lack of planning, communication, and the lack of closed set. And what I love about this is Variety, it's not Deadline, but Deadline always includes the documents links, which I love because that's how it should be. When you report on news, you should have the doc links. We shouldn't have to go out and search for them. In response, Costner stated that it was not an RA scene and that while it was implied, there was no nudity or simulated sex. This was one artistic shot designed to imply what was going to happen off the screen and purposely was not a simulated RA, as Devyn now falsely describes it. He basically says that there was no video, that it was not a scene, it was like blocking and stills. Costner and his company are seeking to throw it out under California's anti-SLAPP law, which is designed to protect free speech on matters of public concern. Marty Singer, famous Hollywood lawyer, I kind of stand the Marty Singer of it all. And it's not because of the cases. You know, some people don't like him, but I just love the lawyering. I love to watch his lawyering. And he's a mentor to Brian Friedman. So just a little side note. He addresses, so this is Horizon 2, which has yet to be released, addresses the horrific struggles endured by women in the American West in the post-Civil War era, including their extreme vulnerability to rape and other forms of violence. And so therefore it qualifies for protection under the anti-SLAPP law. Like, he wasn't just putting a gratuitous scene in there. This is what was really happening in that era. In the anti-SLAPP motion, the losing side has the right to appeal immediately, which will likely delay the case for a year or more, regardless of the outcome at the trial court. The motion includes declaration for many crew members who maintain that the shot was not out of the ordinary. So he has his witnesses. She had her witnesses when she filed her stuff too. So Roger Ivins, the other performer in the scene, stated that Labelle offered a false and sensationalist description of the scene in her lawsuit, in which she characterized it as depicting a violent rape. It is not what happened, Ivan stated. This was not in any way, shape, or form a simulated sex scene. So this is him on top of her. Again, with the stills, you can't really tell, right? They're saying that she's smiling there. Wade Allen, the stunt coordinator who was hired as supervisor, said no intimacy, no nudity, no sexual conduct or sexual movement of any kind was involved. He also stated that Labelle gave him a thumbs up before and after the run-through, that she seemed upbeat and enthusiastic about the experience. At no point during that day did she evidence any distress or discomfort. And that's what one of our followers, listeners, Carm, was pointing out, is like, she said she's tired of this whole Hollywood thing of actresses not speaking up in the moment and then later being like, it was so horrible, it was this. It's like, you have the agency to do that. While some people, on the other hand, can say, well, it's a power dynamic. She didn't want to lose her job or things like that. She didn't want to speak up. So it just depends on, how you think about it. It says, in response to the filing, her lawyers, they came back swinging. That said that her professional demeanor does not undermine her allegations. Like, just because she was being professional and smiling and thumbs upping doesn't mean that it didn't happen. And one of the things that our follower had said was, they're not mind readers, which, that part I did find compelling. This filing is continued evidence that one of Hollywood's most powerful men is trying to skirt accountability for reckless and harmful behavior. This baseless motion is nothing but a desperate delay tactic from a panicked legal team with no real defense. The only things damaging Kevin Costner's rep are his own reckless, harmful behaviors and the offensive narrative he's spreading to cover it up. And so I know Donna had mentioned that this is different than Lively because the power dynamic here, over there, Blake Lively was the bigger power. Here, it's obviously Kevin. And so he's saying that this is the actress Ella Hunt, that this is him and Ella looking at the screen and what was going on. And they're like, laughing about it or whatever. But it's funny because in her allegations of what happened, she's saying Ella refused to do the scene and stomped off the set. So Donna was like, are these pictures really from that day or is this pictures from another day? So let's get into the docket here. I have it linked below. So here's his declaration. It's, I believe, like 22 pages. I'm not going to get into all of it, but he gets into, what Horizon 2 is, what the SH, what things need to be met in order for SH to be like a thing. He says no reasonable person, and certainly no reasonable stunt person who is experienced, would have viewed the blocking of the shot in question as harassment, let alone that harassment that was so severe as to create a hostile work environment. This was a fleeting moment on the set of a major motion picture that involved an actor who everyone, including the plaintiff, knew was acting. The stand-in, who blocked the same shot for about 20 more minutes than the plaintiff did and is not a professional stunt person, voiced no concerns about what she was asked to do. Plaintiff was informed of the nature of the shot block in advance and consented to do it. She was not physically injured, and when the block was over, the plaintiff volunteered to do the same shot again for the camera. Even if she had been uncomfortable, no reasonable person would believe in that scenario that they would not say something to immediately stop the conduct, given that it was an acting performance and not real assault. So he cites a bunch of cases and all that stuff. If you guys want to go read it, he's basically not having it. And then here, I also have linked the exhibit. So we're going to get into those pictures really quick as we wrap up. So there's the truck. I don't know why there's the wagon from the outside. Let me do this so that you guys can see it bigger. Sorry about that, y'all. So there's the wagon here. I guess that's why he included that one. Exhibit B, and I'm sorry that they're sideways, so we're just gonna have to get creative with this. Wait, can I flip it? Yeah, I can. I can flip it. Okay, here we go. So there's the wagon. All right. Exhibit Z. There he is talking about the blocking. I guess here he is again talking about the blocking. Oh, this is with a gun. Something to do with a gun. Him and a gun. I believe, is this Ella Hunt then? Is this the actress or is this, no, is this Devyn? Is this Devyn Labelle? So there's the gun there. Yeah, I think that's Devyn then. Yeah, and so then here she is and he's going, or is this a different actress? I don't know. Is this Devyn on the, so this is her inside here. So maybe that's not her out there, but then there he comes in. Yeah, so that is Devyn, and then this is Ella Hunt. Okay, yes, because I was like, they were wearing the same stuff, so I wasn't sure. And then also, I need to turn the brightness up on my own screen because it's hard to see. Okay, so there's Devyn, there's Ella Hunt. So this is the stunt double. Here's Ella laughing about it, so it doesn't show her stomping off the stage. And it's obviously the same day because they're wearing the same clothes. So there she is laughing and looking back. Here they are checking out the shot as it's being blocked. And so here is the blocking of the shot. And again, I guess, I don't know if they actually did went ahead and do video or if they didn't. So here's the blocking. So these are just the stills. We still haven't gotten video, but it did say in that declaration that she volunteered to do video. So I wonder if they did do video. So this is just, for those of you who don't act, what blocking is, it's basically mapping out what the motions are going to be. So in acting, it's not like you just improvise and move around. The blocking is like, okay, you're going to be facing me this way, or you're going to be coming in from left stage or whatever. So that's what blocking is. It's basically every single move is blocked out so that when you're in it, you don't have to like guess where the other person is going to go, get in the way. And it's done so that you get a good camera shot. So they're saying, look, here she's smiling. They zoomed in on there. Here he's grabbing the skirt and pulling it up, but she's got layers of skirt underneath. So here's the other blocking one. But I mean, he is a heavy man. So like when Donna did it on her show, I was like, I can see why she'd be like this heavy man on top of me. But then it's like, well, don't, be in a movie about the West. And, I'm sure she had the script beforehand. She's saying it was an unscripted scene. He's saying it was. So we'll have to look at the script. But you see, there's still layers underneath. She's not like, her legs are not. So here's the other one. But see, when I saw him on Donna's show, I was like, this isn't proof that, like, what the heck? Like, this looks pretty crazy to me. But it's like, it's a movie. It's acting. So I don't know, if she didn't want to do a scene like that. So that's the last of it. So that's 44. So let's go check out the comments and see what y'all think on that. Let's see. It says she would have had the script, but even if they didn't, a lot of movies around the script, it's acting. Yeah, there is a lot of like, now we're going to do this. And so let's see. I wish they would have shown a video. We need the video. Yes, Jane, and yes, Joy. But like I said, we're not sure if there was even video because they said it was just blocking. So I'm going to further read because I kind of just skimmed the court docs. I'll further read it for you guys and find out for sure if she did do video or not, because I believe there's also another response from Devyn. Y'all drop it in the comments if y'all want me to do a docket deep dive on this from the very beginning, which is we read the very first amended complaint, the second one, all the docs. If you guys want me to do like a night show and do a docket dive, let me know in the comments if that's something you guys are interested in. Because we did go over some of the docs in the Kevin show. So I already covered this. If you guys go over to my YouTube, I have covered and have the links to some of the docs. I believe it's her filing and his filing are linked in the description on that show. So you'll see it's got Kevin Costner on the thumbnail and Blake Lively. I forget what I called it. What the thumbnail is, but yes, go check that out if you want the story from the start, and let me know if you want me to just do a deep docket dive like one night, like a 2-hour one. it seems like maybe she's too emotionally fragile for some requirements of the job. Yeah, and that could be. I mean, I'm still in the mid, like I'm flip-flopping, y'all. Like I'm not even gonna lie, I am flip-flopping. I started off with like, I don't really think I believe her. Then I was like, well, she pulled out some text messages. So here's where I'm at. She pulled out some text messages that said that she spoke to someone the next day, like, hey, these are my concerns. Why was there not an intimacy coordinator? Why? And that's another thing. Intimacy coordinators are just like, they're not like, you don't have to have them. They're just like a thing that SAG, came up with and, to protect women and all this stuff. But it's not something that's like, it's illegal if you don't have one. So that's for one that like, a lot of people are like, there was no intimacy, like it's a crime. It's not. But you don't have to have them. And so this is going to be talk for Hollywood. And maybe we can do this on the deeper docket dive because, so are they going to have to provide intimacy coordinators just in general, like through the whole shoot and spend the money for that? Like for a, like holding hands, walking through the park scene or, like anything, any type of like affection. Cause right now intimacy coordinators are only for nudity. There should not have been an intimacy coordinator here. So the fact that she's pointing that out, doesn't make sense. She was fully clothed. The other thing is in those text messages, she does reach out to someone and that person tells her, I talked to Kevin and he's just like old school or something like that. Like he's just, we got to bring him up to the times. He's old school, like about the intimacy coordinator stuff. But then Marty said in a comment that Kevin didn't know anything about it till this was filed. So that's the thing where I was like, team, Devyn, because I was like, is he lying? Or is she lying? Like, but the text messages don't lie. Or is that guy lying and saying he talked to Kevin and he never did? So that part is a little sketchy for me. But right now, after seeing this latest filing, I think I'm back on team Kevin. Just because if it was just blocking and he wasn't like gyrating on her or anything, like this was just literally him on top of her, pointing out scenes that it never actually like happened. Like the way that and that's the thing, the way that she described it isn't like she over embellished, I feel like. And that's the same thing that happened with Blake. Jane says actresses who need to realize that if they're in a movie about RA or sex scenes, there will be going on. However, she was a stunt double. Yes. But I mean, if I get it, but I also don't, because yes, she's a stunt double. But if, like he said, Marty said that, this is the Wild West. I've watched a lot of Westerns and I mean, even Westworld and stuff. This is what they put in there because this is what the times were like. It says, Elizabeth says she has previous similar claims. And I haven't been able to find those, Elizabeth. If you want to message me on X, DM me. If you've seen those claims, someone said that someone else covered it on YouTube, but I forgot who the creator was. So if anybody can find those previous claims or the video of those previous claims that somebody covered, let me know because I'm interested in deep diving that. I did a Google search and I couldn't find anything. She's a stunt woman, which suggests someone who isn't easily rattled. Exactly. So yeah, the Kevin Costner suit feels like a setup. Looking at you, RR, says Sandy, setup to me. I mean, it could be because she literally says that that, he didn't invite her back for Horizon 3. So is this, but the thing is that it's not that because she literally the next day messaged someone like that was not cool. I felt uncomfortable, but the thing that she says it was retaliation that she didn't even get invited back to Horizon 3. There was never in the contract. So it was never guaranteed that she would get invited back. Wrathful says she's going to look for me for those claims. Need actors and stunt doubles to sign off every damn day. Were you happy about today? Oh my God. Oh, joy. Like a little checklist. Were you happy today? Little smiley face, little sad face, little mad. How'd you feel about the set today? Elizabeth says she'll try to find details of the previous claims. No, you're not wrong. I've heard that too. And someone said, so-and-so YouTuber did it and I didn't catch it. It was on one of my other streams and I didn't quite catch it. Maybe Donna. I don't know if Donna, no, it was a different YouTuber. So that's the Kevin Costner of it all. Y'all. I mean, go read the filings and let me know if you want me to do a super, super deep dive so we can get into the bottom of the allegations. The show that I did has the text messages. So if you guys want the tea on all the text messages that that she sent, those are in there. And then just a little something funny. I really want to get Ashley Brianna Eve. I know I talk about her every single show, but she does branding and marketing, as well as PR. She's a branding, marketing, PR expert. And y'all go give her a follow again. I always plug her, but it's because I love her. I want to get her on the show because every time that I'm covering these cases now, I think about PR and stuff. And so here he's rebranding himself, Kevin Costner and Jake Gyllenhaal, to star in Amazon MGM dramedy Honeymoon with Harry, penned by Dan Fogelman, Jennifer Salk, among producers. Maybe not a rebrand because I believe, has he been in comedies before or is this his first comedy? Because I'm trying to think, like, I believe, no, I'm thinking about the guy from Braveheart, Mel Gibson. He's done comedies. I'm trying to think if Kevin Costner's ever done a comedy, but I thought it was funny that this is, I know it says dramedy, but it's more of a comedy. If he's ever done comedies, because I know he did The Bodyguard. Who knows his body of work by heart? Has he ever done comedies? But yeah, so I feel like, so this came out at the same time that, you know, he filed that declaration, and then now this comes out, he's doing a comedy movie. So I wondered, and this is like, I wish I had like a little pocket Ashley every time I have a question, because I'm like, is this like marketing for this film and him getting a comedy to like soften his image? Like what's going on with it? So that was just like another little Easter egg, and maybe we can get her on a show because I have a ton of questions about like Drake and stuff, and Diddy. So yeah, maybe we can get her on a show to discuss that. So as we wrap up the last couple minutes, just quick takes on some other updates. For those following the Demoree Hadley docket, her lawsuit against Desiree Perez, go over to @Demoree docket for this explanation of what's happening. She filed for sanctions against Desiree, and she's also going after YouTubers. So this is the case where her mom is the CEO of Rock Nation. I usually don't say it, Our Nation, ran by Mr. Hove. And, you know, she's saying, look right here, on August 18th, Our Nation CEO Desiree Perez filed a motion for sanctions in federal court against her own daughter and her attorney, Ann Javon. So this is the second time she's tried to do it, and it's already been litigated. The judge already said, you know, the allegations of social media harassment and the screenshots of the alleged listening devices that she used as far as claims of smear campaigns and more, it's all moot. She denied it all. So now she's trying to get another bite of the apple, trying to frame it differently, saying that a YouTuber or an influencer named Milagros has come with new evidence. So y'all go over to the Demoree docket. She's got all the filings there if you guys want to read that. I know DFJ follows it. I have a video as well that I made on it, if you guys wanted to check out that case. And then we also had updates on Diddy. I just did a show yesterday on Diddy, but today there was more updates. Inner City Press, who we all know and love. If you guys want the actual docket there, it's $3. You guys can go over and support him on Patreon. I didn't link it below because I really want you guys, you know, if you really want to see the document, to go support him. He does great jobs, and it's only $3. So I didn't link it, so you guys can go over there and check it out. But basically, you know how they wanted to dismiss the whole case. They're basically saying that, you know, no, he does not deserve a new trial. He doesn't deserve, they should deny the defendant's motion for a new trial. They should deny the defendant's motion for a judgment of acquittal. So this is and I don't know who wrote this because Maureen Comey obviously is no longer with them, but they're basically denying it all. And this is a new account that I'm also just following, Jen Just Law. Her name's Jessica. She's really good at ton of high profile trials. She has all the updates. So give her a follow at Jen Just Law. She has a breakdown of what happened with the with this. It says the Mann Act verdict should be kept. Rule 29 is not a vehicle to rewrite the statute and the record clears sufficiency. Please deny the motion. And so she goes into everything that goes into. Bottom line, government asked the judge to deny Rule 29 and Rule 33 outright. No constitutional fix, no First Amendment shield, and enough proof for the counts of conviction. So that's the latest on Diddy. Go follow those accounts. And then any updates on Drake versus Universal Group? Well, tonight, you guys tune in, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. We are going to be having Miss Pam Entertainment TV with us to discuss Drake versus Universal. We also may have another surprise person coming in. I'm not sure yet. I don't want to announce it unless I can get her on, but we might have another person as well joining us. And we're going to go into a deep docket dive on Drake versus UMG and give you guys all the latest updates, including Drake's new partnership with an Amazon store, which is another thing I wanted to ask Ashley about, because I'm like, is this partnership, to distract from what's going on the legal side? So we're going to get into all of that. That is our show for today. Let me check out the comments before we sign out. All roads lead to Blake and Ryan. I love that. Labelle was involved in James Franco's class action payout. Oh, TTT. See if we get T from the comments. I appreciate all of the listeners for stopping by. We had a great crowd today. And hopefully we see you guys tonight with Drake versus UMG. Obviously, we're taking the weekend off. No sidebar tomorrow morning. I will see you guys back on Monday if I don't see y'all tonight. And yeah, I appreciate DFJ says, I love our Deseret stream. I forgot that's what we call her now, Deseret. We have all these nicknames. Wrathful is saying, I'm really interested in looking for a connection. Wrathful, are you talking about Devyn? I was thinking, of a connection between Devyn and Blake and Ryan. Oh, that is spicy. Yes. I wonder if there is some kind of connection. And also the timeline. That's why drop a comment if you guys want me to do a deep dive, because we could also compare the timelines of, I believe it was around May 2023 as well, that all this happened. Sorry, last comment. Anna says, I can't help to think about the SNL thing where Kevin C was pointed out as not liking RR's move. And then soon after we have this, did someone look into RR and BL connections to the stunt woman? So that's where all the comments were coming from, was this. Abe is going live today at 10:45 Eastern. So that's here in a couple minutes, 30 minutes. Why don't everyone here in the stream go over to that show, and I'll meet you guys over there in the chat. And yeah, we can go support her as well. Thanks, Joy, for pointing that out. That's usually, I do Abe, and then I do Zach, and then I do Dana. That's usually my daily. And then obviously Lauren and Omar in the evenings. I check them out. So thank you everyone for stopping by. Elizabeth says, great live. I made her late. Well, I'm glad you stayed. See y'all in the next one. Yes, see y'all. Take care. Thank you, everyone. We'll meet at Ashley's.